Okay, good morning. When we last left our heroes, he had gotten a yellow rose into May Capone's hand. Um, and it was amazing. And nobody found out that he was supposed to do that too, that he kept it a secret. Here's the picture of May Capone. That's a real picture of May Capone. That was taken that actual day. That day that she visited, she was swamped by reporters. She wouldn't come out of her mink or her gloves, just like it said. And you see the hair. All right, well, I'll leave the Alcatraz from the air picture up so you can see what we're talking about while we're reading. And let's get down. All right. Same day. Long, amazing day. August 18th, 1935. Why, thank you, Moose. The lilting sound of May's voice is spinning around like a gramophone in my head. And now Darby Trixel is heading back to us. Why won't he ever leave me alone? What you kids doing on this run anyway? We went to visit my sister, I tell him, as the boat was rocking. That's it? Wasn't nothing to do with May Capone being here, was it? The warden thinks this isn't a coincidence. I start to sweat. We didn't know she was going to be here, sir, said Annie. We just got lucky, said Teresa. Darby glares at her. Teresa darts behind Annie. And what about you, Mr. Ladies' Man? He squints at me. Just went to visit your sister, did you? Yes, sir, I say. How's she doing at that place? Fine, sir. But it ain't permanent. This what you call it, a school, sir. Is that what it is? Them flowers the missus is all worked up about? How much they put you back, son? I shrug. Best not to say anything. He's just looking for trouble. I better not give it to him. I bet it was a lot of dough, Moose. Are you giving them away free like that? How'd you get that money? My grandma sent it to me. Your grandma sent it to you and you bought the missus flowers with it, did you? Not exactly. I bought them for Annie and Teresa and I had a few left over. So my missus didn't rate. She was leftovers? He snorts. No, sir. I mean, Darby. Bee is doing her best to run across the rocking boat in her high heels. Don't you be getting after that nice young man. I won't have it, just because you aren't kind and thoughtful the way he is. Darby's face gets dark red. He whispers something in Bee's ears. Bee purses her lips. Her eyes get small. Not if you expect to have another pineapple upside down cake in your lifetime, Buster. He whispers again. Her hands fly to her hips. She glares at him as the wind whips her scarf. You just be still and let me do my job here, missus. Darby turns back to you. Here's how we're going to play this. When the boat gets to Alcatraz, you stay put, all of you. We won't have any shenanigans on my watch. Not with the warden on board, do you hear? And that goes double for you, Missy. He waggles his fingers at Teresa. Yes, sir. Teresa bounces nervously on her feet as we get closer to where Alcatraz rises out of the water with its layers of green moss and brown residue. Trixel straightens his hat and ducks back into a cabin as he catches sight of Miss May Capone. I guess she's been to San Francisco before, otherwise she'd have never been fur in summer. Man, it can be cold here when the fog comes in. Moose, Annie says, if you were to get married, how many kids would you want? She looks at me very seriously. How do I know, Annie? Would they play baseball? Why else do you have kids, Annie? Well then, you better make sure your wife can play baseball too. That's my advice to you, Matthew Flanagan. I roll my eyes. Oh, whatever you say, Annie. I tell her as we pull into the dock at Alcatraz, and the sergeant gets off. Annie likes Moose. The sergeant gets off, winding the rope around the cleat. The cons who take care of the dock and unload the boats are standing at attention, far away from the ferry. Quiet as they are in their clean chambray shirts, you can feel excitement run through them. It isn't every day a woman such as May Capone comes to the island. The warden gets off first with the Angel Island officers. They walk across the gangplank, sure and true, as the boat dips. Then comes B. Trixel, taking wobbly steps in her fancy shoes. 3 or 4 people I don't recognize who must be visiting cons on the island. Officer Trixel, who's down by the snitch box, which is what we call the metal detector everyone has to walk through before entering the island. He's supervising the visitors' walkthrough. The next person, an old lady in a blue hat, triggers the snitch box, and it blares. Everyone crowds around to see. Nothing like a snitch box for excitement. The warden motions to Trixel, who trots over to get his orders. Trixel nods and returns the little old lady. He has to walk her back through, triggering the snitch box again. Officer Trixel motions to B, who clickety-cracks across the dock. "You think it's her corset?" says Annie. Al Capone's mom visited the island a few months ago, and she set off the snitch box with metal in her corset. Poor woman had to be searched up and down to her arm undergarments. She was mortified. Never went back up top to visit her son after it happened. She got back on the boat and went back home. Probably, I'd say. Where's Teresa? Trixel will not like this. I think about what Trixel said about Natalie. He makes me so mad. Even though I know my father would not approve of what I said and how I said it either. There's so many things to worry about. I can't keep track of them all. I just want this day to end. You stay here. I'll find Teresa. Teresa, you are supposed to stay here. Teresa's eyes the size of bowling balls. I saw something. She's always seeing something. For your book, no. Annie, this really happened. May Capone dropped her handkerchief. I saw it. So, she didn't pick it up again. Teresa's whisper is authority. It was off the boat. I'll show you. Didn't you hear, Trixel? We're supposed to stay put. It was a pretty bun with a hummingbird on it. And you could see this from here? I have sharp eyes. My daddy said so. B. Trixel is back with the lady in the blue hat. Earrings, he calls to Darby. She calls to Darby, jangling a handful of metal. Darby trots over to the warden and gives this information to him. The warden motions to the woman to come through the snitch box again. No alarm. Then comes May. I can retell by the sudden buzz of interest from the cons. They aren't the only ones craning their necks to see her. Half the folks in the 64 building are out on their balcony watching May Capone arrive. We're stuck on the boat until Mr. Madiman comes on board to escort us. By the time we feel our feet hit the wooden dock, the warden, May Capone, Darby Trixel are all long gone. Even the cons are back in their sweeping. Teresa skirts around to the spot to collect May's hummingbird handkerchief. And of course it isn't there. We hunt for a good 20 minutes. We don't find anything. You don't believe me, do you? Says Teresa. Of course we believe you. Well, it really happened. I said we believe you. And you know what else? I touched her with my hand. When she was talking to Moose, I have so many things to write down. Don't talk to me. I've got to go home and write them. I've got to go record everything before I forget. Chapter 17. Pixie Guard. August 27th. Thursday. So it's like 9 days later? Yeah, 18 to 20. Yeah, 9 days later. One laundry cycle has passed since I gave May her yellow rose, and I haven't heard any more about it. I don't think I'm going to hear. I'm square with Al now. He's going to leave me alone. My hives are practically gone too. No wild scratching. Not even Darby seems to have noticed May's yellow rose, burnt up as he was about giving the ones to B. Thank goodness for B and her pineapple upside down cake. That's all I can say. Now, I've exactly stopped searching my laundry. I'm like a gold digger the way I check everything. Every pocket, every cuff, every sleeve, every pant leg. I pay close attention to the plumbing too, because I don't want 7 fingers coming to my place again. Finding a note in the pocket of my shirt was bad enough. Messing with my pillow? That's something else. It's personal, you know? Still, all in all, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't even mind with school starting soon, mostly because it means baseball beginning too. Annie's going to join us after school. She'll be the only girl. Her mom is pretty proud about this, though. She started a new needlepoint pillow to honor the occasion of Annie playing baseball. Home run gal, it says. As long as she doesn't say one that says needlepoint guy, I'm safe. Natalie is even doing well. She'll be home to visit next week, and Scout is coming to the island this afternoon to play ball. I ran this by Jimmy, and he seemed fine about it. He said he was glad Scout is coming. So even that little mess has worked out. This time I decided to run the paperwork for Scout's visit by Darby before turning it in. I'm not taking any chances. I knock on the Trixels' door, but Darby's not there. Only Janet is there. Hi, she says. Is Teresa in there with you? She has asked hopefully. No, I say. Teresa won't play with me. She'd rather play with your sister. And I'm not allowed to play with Natalie. Did Teresa really touch May Capone? Yep. Janet's shoulders sag. Nat's not around very much anymore. Maybe Teresa will play with you now, however. I don't think so. Teresa stays mad a long time. Teresa never told me you weren't allowed to play with Nat. She's a little afraid it'll hurt your feelings. Look what I'm doing. Making bullhorns. I made a new rule. All my pixie jailers got to have one. Of course, bullhorns would be essential for pixie jailers. She nods vigorously. Would you do me a favor and look at my paperwork? I've got a friend coming over. I want to make sure it's right. Me? You want me to look at it? She stands up extra straight, puts her scissors down. She takes the card. Normally I wouldn't trust this kind of thing to a 7-year-old, but seeing how rules are at General Trixels our specialty. Of course I don't actually know if she can even read. Her fingers move along the page. I guess that's my answer. She can read, but not very well. She'll probably tell her dad I consulted her. That can't hurt either. Looks fine. When Scouts come, is Teresa going to play too? Maybe. Janet's lips are pressed together. She gets her scissors. I notice there's a paper written on the bullhorn. Teresa Pixie Guard number 1. Thanks to Janet, Scouts arrives without a hitch. Jimmy comes down to the dock to meet him. We're all headed up to the switchback to Piper's house to get Annie when Jimmy suggests a detour through the 64 building. I got something to show you, Scout. Don't tell me. A new species of fly, right? He thinks this is funny and he winks at me. I want to be careful, though, not to hurt Jimmy's feelings. No. He leans into whispers. Scout says, Really? Says Scout. I figured you'd want to know. Jimmy, where are you going? I ask him. He leads us around the 64 building, headed for Chinatown. It's an area of up there. I grab Jimmy's arm, but he shakes me off. He takes off running to outpace Scott, who's the world's fastest author. They head down the shady cement stairways. When they get to the secret passageway, Jimmy takes a screwdriver out of his pocket. Jimmy! But it's too late. He's already unscrewing the hardware that holds the hinge on the door. He opens the door and a cloud of dust swirls in the air. Scout crawls inside. Wow! Can you really hear people talking? Shh. I don't want to go after them. I'm just stand outside fuming. What is Jimmy's problem? How could he tell Scout about this? What kind of friend is he anyway? They stay there for a long time. I wait, watching Mrs. Cacone's big aprons blow in the clothesline. When they finally come out, Jimmy is apologizing for not being able to play ball with Scout today. The way he does this, it sounds convincing, but I know it's a lie. Jimmy doesn't want Scout to make fun of him again. It's okay, Scout brushes. Moose was going to show me this place, though, right? Jimmy's screwdriver freezes in his hands. He's clearly waiting for my answer. I say nothing. Sure you were, Jimmy says. Scout's thick eyebrows rise. I told Annie about this place, too, seeing as she's going to be another of your best friends. And Piper. Piper knows? Sure, isn't she your best friend? He swings the screwdriver and walks up the stairs. Scout and I watch him. He's a good guy, Scout tells me. You shouldn't make him mad like that. I shouldn't. You're the one who says he throws like a dead girl. Scout shrugs as if he doesn't even remember this. Typical Scout. He's the guy who brings the eggs, but never the one with egg on his face. If it was so much fun, I wouldn't, yeah. Are we going to play ball or what? Let's go find Annie. Scout suggests as if playing ball with Annie was the most natural thing in the world. Annie and Piper are supposed to be singing a song for J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI, and Elliot Ness, the guy who brought Capone down, come to Alcatraz. Apparently they're going to be a big shindig with them with gold foil invitations and everything. My mom is supposed to help Annie and Piper practice. She offered to teach the Alcatraz kids for half off, but the warden didn't take her up on it. Buddy Boy is helping Annie and Piper with their performance instead. Buddy Boy is a con who works in the warden's house. Buddy Boy's lessons are, of course, free. When we knock on the warden's door this time, it's Willie One-Arm who answers, with his brown mouse Molly riding on his shoulder. "Where's Mrs. Williams?" I ask. "She's not feeling so good." We follow Willie and Molly into the living room where Annie and Piper are both seated on the piano bench. "Hi, doll!" Scout beams at Piper. I grind my teeth. Does he have to call her doll? "Hi," says Piper. "Annie's busy," she snaps. He looks at my baseball glove. "Gonna play a little ball, are you, buddy?" He asks. Buddy Boy asks me, concentrating. "Yeah." I might put my head towards Annie. "When are you going to be done?" "She has no idea," Piper answers for Annie. Scout smiles his old bachelor guy smile. "You got a glove, doll? You could play too, Piper." "You should see this." "Buddy, do your Shirley Temple imitation." "Oh, now, Missy." He can't keep the smile off his face. "Come on." "Shirley who?" "You never heard of Shirley Temple?" Scout shakes his head. "She's a kid movie star. They show movies in the Cell House and everywhere else, too." "In the Cell House?" Scout nods appreciatively. "Movie night is twice a month. Go ahead, buddy. You got to hear this." Buddy clearly lives for this. You can see it in his eyes. He takes off his tortoiseshell glasses and plumps his curly yellow hair so it looks more like a 6-year-old mop head. Annie riffles through the music until she finds what she's looking for and begins playing. Buddy Boy walks across the room. He's an adorable roly-mop-headed little girl and scrunching his shoulders up. "On the good ship, lollipop, it's a sweet trip to the candy shop." He rubs his belly and puffs his cheeks out. If you close your eyes, you'd swear you're listening to Shirley Temple on the radio. Open them and Buddy almost looks like her too. It's kind of creepy. "Look, even Molly likes it." Annie points to Willie One-Arm, who's standing in the back. Molly on his shoulder. Willie strokes her fur. I look back at Piper. Scout is right next to her. They're busy whispering to each other. "Moose, you take your friend Scout and run along. We need a few more minutes, and then you'll have Annie back to you," says Buddy. Buddy has such a nice way of making me feel comfortable in my own skin. It's as if I'm doing something right every time I see him. He winks at Annie, like they share their own secret. "He's good, isn't he? He's going to be in vaudeville when he gets out, right, Buddy?" Annie's eyes are bright and focused on Buddy Boy. "He can't be a convicted felon." Buddy nods. "You betcha. Got me an agent all lined up. This time next year, going to see my name in lights. Now you go on. The ladies have more work to do." Scout and I discuss Buddy as we walk down to the parade grounds. They let him out to audition? No. Then how'd he get an agent then? Beats me. "Look, Scout." He walks so fast. "Do you have to be so chummy with Piper?" "Chummy?" He stops on the road. "I know a little bit more about girls than you, so I'm going to give you some tips." He puts both hands up in a stop motion. "Don't thank me, okay? It's just what I do for my buddies. But first you need to know, did you kiss her yet?" "Shut up, okay? I tell him, what makes you think I know so much about girls anyway?" Makes you think you know so much about girls anyway. He rocks his head from side to side. "I just do. First thing, don't go straight for the lips. It's like when you're pitching. You don't want to go straight over home plate, but a little to the side to keep him guessing. Start with the cheek, and then mosey your lips over till you hit the target. Tip 2, watch your nose. Nothing like a nose smash up to ruin the mood. Could even lose you the whole ball of wax. Noses stick out more than lips, so an angle shot is the only way to go. He puts his head to the side to demonstrate. I'm giving you the best I have here, buddy. I hope you appreciate this. Little known fact, weak point of every girl in America. A kiss here and there, and you'll have them eating out of your hand. Look, don't get yourself worked up all about that. I know Piper is your puppy, but you gotta get a girl warmed up, you know? I'm the fella for that job, Moose. I sigh, all resistance drained out of me. I don't know. She's really mad at me. Did you see her? It's because she likes you. That's the way girls are, Moose. They get mad for all kinds of reasons you can't figure it out, so don't even waste your time trying. He taps his fingers to his lips. That's how you solve it, right there. You think I should kiss her, Scout? He sighs as if I'm a sorry specimen of mankind. What do you think I've been telling you for the last 5 minutes? Come on, let's go play ball. He bounces forward down the hill to the parade grounds. Annie comes a few minutes later. Piper's sore at you. She's always sore. I mean, really sore. She heard about the roses. How'd she find out? How did she find out anything? There's no reason for her to be mad about it anyways, I tell her. She knocks on my skull. Is anybody home in there, Moose? You're supposed to be her boyfriend, and you don't even get her a rose. Buddy, Scout shakes his head. You didn't get her a rose? I'm not her boyfriend. Yeah, well, not now you're not. Jimmy's mad at you, too. He sure is. Anybody could see that, Scout says. The trouble is, you can't stand playing baseball with anyone who isn't good as you, says Annie. That's not true, I say. Never without a word about Jimmy. I've never said a word about how Jimmy plays. You don't have to. One look on your face says it all. It does not, Annie. It does too, Moose. I play with you and you're not better than I am. I get right up close and I say it. Bets on that, Moose? Yeah, bets. Double bets. If I were a gambling man, Scout hoots, I put my money on Annie. Don't say that, Scout. I tell him as the sun dips behind a cloud. There aren't enough players for a real game, so Annie pitches, and Scout and I take turns at bat. Every time I get there, I hit so hard I smack the ball to smithereens. I could take on Babe Ruth today. What's got into you, Moose? Scout asks Annie. What's got into Moose? Scout asks Annie. You just tell him he is lousy, and he gets like that. Gonna remember that next time we need a homer. Yeah, he's kind of fun that way. Aw, stop it, Annie, I say. And stop ganging up on me. Poor Humpty Dumpty, says Annie, throwing one of the best pitches ever, and now I'm so mad I swing the bat so hard I miss. Better go easy on him, Scout tells her, or he'll fall off the wall. Okay, next chapter's got some action. Same day, Tuesday, August 27th. After Scout leaves, I drop my bat and ball at my house and I head for the secret passageway, which needs a new name because it isn't secret anymore. I'm still mad at Jimmy for telling Scout about this. I don't understand why he did it. Why shouldn't I be punished for what Scout said? And the way Jimmy acted, it was like he was sure I'd tell Scout. He decided to do it first. What gave Jimmy the idea I had a big mouth? Just because I'm friends with Scout doesn't mean I'm Jimmy's friend. I'm not Jimmy's friend. Vacation. Doing a lot of weird reading. I don't have a screwdriver, but Jimmy didn't put screws back securely, so I jiggle them out with my bare fingers. I crawl all the way in until under Mrs. Cacone's apartment. My plan is to sit there and just think about all this. But then a minute later, the door opens and a flashlight flickers at the end. The passageway goes dark. My stomach tightens. Just because there are convicts on the island doesn't mean they'll be under here, right? The only convict that might have access here is 7 Fingers. That doesn't make me feel better. It's not Jimmy, right? Jimmy? I whisper. The sound stops. I realize with a start I've given away my location. I see suddenly in the half-darkness the dark hair and the white ribbon ponytail of Piper. Scared you, didn't I? She whispers, continuing to move towards me. Her ring hits the ground and clicks his metal. Course not, I tell her. Liar. Jimmy told me you had Jimmy told me you had to tell the truth in here. All right, maybe a little. She laughs softly, taunting me. She spits on her fingers and she runs them through her hair, pulls the loose strand not held in her ponytail and hooks it behind her ear. Don't just sit there, I tell her. Here's over better. And I pat the dirt next to me. Not so many ants. She crawls to where I'm sitting and settles comfortably. What are you doing in here? What are you doing in here, Moose? Just thinking. About what? About you. You shouldn't think about me. I like Scout now, in case you haven't noticed. I've noticed. I just don't understand why everyone's mad at me. I'm the one who should have taken Rocky, she said. Piper, that was 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't even my fault. It's only because I'm a girl. No, it's because the Madamans don't trust you, Piper. She ignores this. You guys have it made. You get handed everything on a silver platter. It's disgusting. You're one to talk, Piper. I wish I was a boy. I don't wish you were a boy. Nobody fawns over me, Piper. Oh, yes, they do. Mrs. Bimini, Mrs. Madaman, Teresa, Annie. Annie certainly doesn't. Are you kidding me? You're all she ever talks about. Come on. This makes no... Oh, come on, I say. This makes no sense. But I'm not talking about Annie right now. Piper's sitting close to me. Her face is perfectly still. I smell her warm root beer breath. How come you're not jealous of Scout? I am jealous of Scout. You are? Our legs are stretched out in front of us. My calf and hers are barely touching, but there's a live wire between us. Can she feel it, or is it just me? It's getting warmer down here. My ears are hot. I'm breathing like when I just walked down the switchback. She likes me. She just said she doesn't, but Scout said she did. I like sitting close to her. What do I do now? What was it Scout said about going in sideways? I can't just up and kiss her, can I? You're not allowed to just kiss a girl, are you? Supposed to ask? What if she says no? Why didn't I ask Scout if you're supposed to ask a girl before you kiss her? Her hand reaches up to my face. She gently brushes my lips, barely touching them. My head moves towards hers. How do you avoid nose crashes again? What did he say? I can't even hardly see her lips. It's so dark down here. Her hair brushes against my arm, and the smell of her baby oil and warm root beer fill my nose. Are you supposed to have your mouth open or closed? My teeth nick her lip. Ouch! Someone yells. I jerk my head back. It takes a second for me to understand that it isn't Piper yelling. It's Teresa looming at the sudden flood of light from the crawl space doorway. Moose Flanagan? You stop that right now. You little sneak, Piper shouts. Teresa puts inside. I'm not a sneak. I'm supposed to find Moose. Get out. Piper scurries towards Teresa, and Teresa jumps back out the doorway and grabs the door to keep from falling. Moose, Teresa pleads, hopping around on her leg. Go play with someone your own age. Drown a Trixel, for goodness sake. What do you do? Why do you snoop on me? Piper shouts. I'm not snooping. I had to get Moose. Come on, Moose. Annie needs you. What did I tell you? Piper snorts. Annie. Moose. Teresa says this explains everything. Look. I'm crawling as fast as I can. Don't do this, okay? I tell Teresa. I don't want to be in the middle of this. There's nothing to be in the middle of, Piper shouts. She shoves me back and hops out the door. Leave me alone. Moose. Teresa peers in at me. What's the matter with you? You were going to kiss her. I saw. I was not going to kiss her. You were. Kissing Piper's like kissing a squid. Not exactly. No, this isn't the first time. How many times have you kissed a moose? How many? None, I mean. Nothing happened. Look, this isn't your business anyway. Of course it is. I saved you, Moose. You owe me. Teresa, you're only 7. When you're older, you'll understand. I already understand. My daddy told me about it. Wildness comes over teenagers like a disease, and they go around kissing all over the place. They can't help themselves. If you find yourself about to get smoochy, find Annie. Oh, boy. Wait till I tell Annie, says Teresa. Keep your mouth shut about this, please. Teresa nods her head as if I finally said something that makes sense to her. I'd be ashamed of myself, though, too. Jeepers, Moose. Jeepers. All right, I'm going to stop there. We're a little over time. More drama ensues. Now, I know this book is more about their life unfolding, and so it takes a little bit more brain work because it's more personalities and stuff. But there's plenty more excitement to happen in this book. We're exactly halfway. I won't be reading tomorrow for Christmas. I'll be reading again on Sunday. Sunday is the next day I will read. So 2 days off, Friday and Saturday. And then I'll start reading again on Sunday. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're enjoying it. Way more excitement to come in this book.